About 194 feet away from our home, on the way to the spring, my father had a little garden with a few apple trees, which had retired from giving fruit.
Unable to deny our birthright or our lands where we lived for centuries, we, the Armenians, walked into the Syrian desert.
Somehow my art will realize love of beginnings then, of beginnings now. Technology meets fantasy in our mind's eye. Now I see, now I see.
The old boy is amazing. He turns the metal of death and destruction into wonder and love.
Imagine being with friends just before dawn, around a withered tree, branching upward to the sky. Fly with the sound of laughter, glide through the green uplands of freedom. Rise, be of wind and fire, reach across the whole world as one.
How could the girl from Boston recapture for him our land's many golden fields?
Pray for the children, tomorrow past and present all at once. It's in their hearts, it's in their eyes.
To the black monk. Ah, the Chekhov story about an artist's passion for the eternal and the beautiful.
Wings of faith reaching higher.
The artist and his mother.
Lord, now is the time to send your wisdom and kindness to the tortured who, although they have forgotten, need you.
There's a place of beginnings. There was a ground constantly in shade where grew an incalculable amount of carrots, and porcupines had made their nests. But from where came all the shadows in constant battle, like the lancers of Paolo Uccello's paintings? This was the garden of wish fulfillment.
Welcome to Parev TV. We are extremely honored to be joined by composer Michel Ekizian and maestro Constantine Orbelian. Many of you do know Maestro Constantine Orbelian is the American-born artistic director and conductor of the Armenian National Opera Ballet Theatre of Armenia. We are here to discuss Michel Ekizian's epic musical theater opera hybrid, Gorky's Dream Garden. A quick announcement here. The virtual opening of the 10th Ridgewood Guild International Virtual Film Festival will take place on Saturday, February the 27th at 2 p.m. This will run through the evening of Wednesday, March the 3rd. The screening schedule of 85 films from around the world will soon be posted on the Ridgewood Guild Film Festival's website. Highlighting the schedule will be 2 screenings of composer Michel Ekizian's 90-minute love song showscape of her upcoming epic musical theater opera hybrid Gorky's Dream Garden. Of only one of 2 films in the festival's featured category, Gorky will be available for viewing on Sunday, March the 1st at 7:30 p.m. and Wednesday, March the 3rd, 9:30 p.m. The second screening on Wednesday will serve as the festival's grand finale. Congratulations, Michel. You have magically produced a theater opera whereby we see, we hear, and we also feel and get immersed in Gorky's life. I'd like to let you know that as we discuss this opera, in the corner of the screen, we'll be viewing a video clip, 7 Gates of Gorky's Dream Garden. The first question I have for you, Michel, you are so dedicated to this project, and I truly admire your tenacity. My question is, why is Gorky's life and Gorky's Dream Garden so important now on the global perspective?
Okay, I jotted down some notes, so forgive me if I look like I'm reading, but I'll try to improvise. In President Biden's address the other day, commemorating the 500 people who died so far of COVID, there was a phrase which caught my ear. He said, "We have to resist to becoming numb to the sorrow." This registered with me because Gorky's life and artwork, the way I see it, is all about sorrow. So much so that the opera's central turning point is a 10-minute spiritual song titled The Sorrowful Intermezzo. But here, the sorrow is not just about crying and lamenting upon loss. It is a necessary step to rising above. In our day and age, people seem to have gotten desensitized. Everything is just a part of an ongoing news blast where everything good or bad is taken for granted. To the contrary, meaningful art and music demands the audience to hear, see, feel, and think about the world. We are only a blip on the map. Gorky's story and art is unsettling and complicated. Death and dreams, distress and de-stress is what Gorky's Dream Garden is about. It may be overwhelming for those who are sequestered in a comfort zone. Remember, that was the title of our last interview, to get out of your comfort zone. But facing the unknown with compassion and grace is the root of the survivor's spirit. For overcoming loss and tragedy to transcend is key, whether involving losses due to the Armenian genocide, which Gorky experienced as a child, the fears and struggles of the Great Depression and challenging World War II years, which he experienced upon his immigration and assimilation in America, or day-to-day misfortunes of life like career challenges, ill health, fire, marital infidelity, car accidents, all things covered in the opera. The aim is to rise above. Gorky is a good example for our time in that he worked through his losses, through his art, as much as he possibly could. Through his creative vision, his challenges his viewers with encoded, passionate abstractions and surreal fantasies that go beyond the matter of the fact. And in doing so, his quest is, like the opera's tagline says, a story of love, courage, and modern art.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Maestro, in regards to Michelle's attempt to break with traditions of the mainstream opera and Broadway music theater repertoire, what are its artistic innovations that attracted you to Gorky's Dream Garden?
Well, Michelle just gave us a nice summary of everything that she's done and her feelings about the actual the piece and why she did it, and there are reasons there. So I think that what is fabulous about it, there's something for everyone. It's it has this beautiful music that she composed. It's got these wonderful speaking roles. It has incorporated Armenian folk music, Armenian, even more popular music, music by Babajanian, music by other composers. So you have, a real pastiche of interesting, very moving moments in the work. So besides it being historically very important, everybody knows. I mean, not everybody, but people who are interested in art and interested in early 20th century art know who Arshil Gorky was. And the story is a very compelling story. And I think it should be, presented because it's very vivid and interesting and tragic, unfortunately, at the end, life.
Michelle, why is this opera so important to your development as a composer?
Well, the sting of creating something that is outside the box of what an opera or music theater work should be is exciting. As I share the work for programming consideration, the classical opera and new music academic circles look upon Gorky's Dream Garden as it having too much of a large public and popular mainstream appeal than the commission works that they do. And Broadway producers are so bedazzled by its opulence, depth, and spirituality that they are afraid it is out of their realm. Apparently, I have created something that cannot fit into a tidy category. And this is why I call it a hybrid. But the irony here is that I did not set out to reinvent the wheel. I just wrote it as to what I liked and what inspires me, and disregarded the pretentious, and the glib and generic stuff I don't like. This work has manifested over a long process. It developed through symphonic commissions and my diverse collaboration over the years. Then re-examining and reworking some of the best elements morphed into a new entity. Thus, I am not bound by doctrines. Maybe I should call it a ballet with singing and acting. But whatever it is, I know it works. Of the isolated performances and previews, the audiences and critics have been extremely enthusiastic. I sense that they are touched. Their response is heartfelt. Unlike that of many bona fide opera subscriptions or hyped up Broadway shows where audiences feel obligated to clap because they spent a lot of money on buying tickets. And so at this point, as I start my next venture of dream gardening, I am free to be my own trailblazer, plowing ahead, as Gorky says in the opera's prequel opening, to define the unknown in the universal soul.
Amazing. Maestro, do you sense Michelle's portrayal of the conflicts and passions of the Armenian heritage in this opera? And if so, how?
Well, nothing is more compelling than the truth. Nothing is as touching and moving and as real as the truth. So here she's actually bringing to life this incredibly interesting, tragic story, and she has the vehicle to do so, and all of these various components come to life So there you have these beautiful songs, as I mentioned before, and the spoken word and the dance and the folk music and the contemporary Michel Ekizian music, and you have everything else that's there to to prod the senses. So you have it all. But anyway, nothing is as compelling as the truth, and it's a very, very compelling story.
Nothing is as compelling as the truth. Michel, Gorky's life was filled with conflict and torment. How does your Gorky's Dream Garden address Gorky's very serious issues of genocide, suicide, and personal crisis?
Okay, well, first about the truth. Well, my opera is the truth according to Michel. So my approach in music is very different than real logic in real life, like that of a dream or walking through a magnificent garden or listening to a Beethoven symphony with a huge audience in an inspiring place. The point of view is of being alive and of a time for people to come together. Thus, subconscious connections are made. So that's not always a cut and dry truth here. For telling the story of what it means to be an artist, an exile and a devastated victim of man's inhumanity, inspiring and unsettling dream scenes recur until dichotomies are obliterated and love transcends reality. Immediacy of up-close, real-time, present drama combines with the mesmerizing ancient Armenian melodies where time, past, present, future, stands still. I aim to evoke the protagonist's essence, optimistic and courageous, mysterious and dark, full of color and light. The opera traverses a 6-course plan of deep emotional states, which I would equate with the color spectrum. The turning point sorrowful intermezzo covering the great despair of Gorky's agony, also the title of a red painting by him during the final years of his life, is of blood red, aiming to transcend. Here I refer to color, not just visually, but metaphorically. The physical journey is driven by the music, the orchestration, singing, and words. The most soul-searching part of the opera is the second half, which moves from infinite green for a crash and rebirth toward ultimate sunrise golden to cathartic white light. And so the issue of Gorky's suicide and being abandoned by his beloved, alone and deathly ill during the final moments before the dawning of a hot summer day does not involve a noose. Instead, he returns to his childhood home's dream garden. With a glorious sunrise service, united with his lost family and village, the scene makes us feel the heartbreaking tragedy of it all. Enhanced by the outreaching massive forces and immersions involving 100+ musicians before diverse audiences of thousands in a breathtaking space, the communal plea is stressed with honesty and depth. And this is something that I believe that could only be expressed through the power of great orchestra music.
Thank you, Michel. Maestro, one other very important question for me. Where do you think is the best place to present Gorky's Dream Garden? In Armenia, in America, both places, or in a more global international setting, reaching beyond the concerns of the Armenian community?
Well, I mean, you can't find a more global and international setting than New York.
Absolutely.
So I think that it would be very appropriate, since he lived most of his life in the United States and in New York and in Connecticut. So I feel that it would be very important to do it in New York. First of all, the texts are in English. I think it's when we do take it to Armenia, I think we'll have to work on the texts and have them translated into Armenian. I think that would be helpful.
Well, how about just super titles? I need my Broadway leading man sing. I'm not going to make him sing in Armenian.
We can discuss the details, of course.
Super titles.
Yeah, we have that too. Thank God since I've been in the theater, we have installed the super titles.
Oh,
And
good.
so it's been very, very, very helpful. So, but I think New York would be the best starting point. Personally, I think it's a little bit easier to do. Armenia's, as we all know, it's gone through a lot of very tragic events, besides COVID, besides everything else, the war recently and everything else. So I think that it would be actually a very good thing to do here, like next spring when things really calm down and things open up. And I think this is a right time to start planning, because I'm convinced that there will be a huge interest and a huge blossoming of the arts as soon as COVID subsides and people get back to normal, and everybody's going to want to go out. Everybody's going to want to go out and hear something new and wonderful, and this is going to be new and wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michel. Thank you, Maestro Orbelian. Michel, is there anything in closing you would like to add?
Well, try to log in for the film festival screenings that they're going to play the whole 90-minute. Now that what you're going to hear in the 90 minutes was a show that we did at the Newark Museum of Art just before the COVID struck, and it's a lucky thing that we did that. But it reduced the opera only to the halfway point, so you're not hearing the sunrise service and the dawning. It just goes through the sorrowful intermezzo and a little coda, and I've reduced a cast of thousands to 3 instruments and eight performers. The second half is more orchestral, so we cannot do that. But the first half is more Broadway. And I had wonderful colleagues, the Art of Motion Dance, the dance theater that came with fabulous over-the-top costumes, the Palisades virtuosi of just piano, flute, and clarinet. And Ron Levy was the pianist, and he was like an orchestra in a box. And I know that at some point I want to hear Maestro playing all of that fancy piano music, because I know it would be wow. So you'll hear a lot of fancy piano music going on.
Thank you, Michel. Maestro.
One question. One more thing though. The festival was postponed because of this conundrum of the virtual platform. Now, I am not sure whether it's going to be postponed again.
Well,
so just stay tuned. We posted it. Let's see.
Thank you, Michel. Maestro, is there anything in closing?
No, just good health to everybody.
Good health to everybody is all we look for.
That's
Michel,
right.
Thank you very much for your magical production. Once again, I have to say you are helping us not only see, not only hear, but also feel and get immersed in Gorky's life. Many of us know about Gorky, but when it's said with the music and the beautiful acting, you really get us immersed in his life. And thank you once again. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.